I gotta tell you, it's time to bring the implodometer back because we are seeing mortgage companies falling like flies right now. We are seeing companies where their pricing is so incredibly out of whack, it's unbelievable. And we've seen underwriting guidelines get so tight that it makes very little sense to a loan officer who's written loans for more than just a couple of years. If you're running into some of these problems and you want solutions, reach out to us. We have them. All you have to do is click this banner right over there. A discreet, my friend, conversations. Now, moving on with the show. Now, this one's falling under the you've got to be me type of stories. Have you ever heard of the singles tax?
While singles across the country pay a high price for a solo living arrangement, the size of that tax varies widely depending on where they live. The price of living alone in a one-bedroom apartment is the highest in New York City, where Street Easy data finds that singles pay $19,500 more a year than someone living with a partner in the same place. This rises to nearly $24,000 in Manhattan, the priciest borough. San Francisco isn't too far behind with a $14,000 singles tax for a one-bedroom apartment.
Unbelievable. This is social engineering at its absolute worst. And by the way, this is real money that we're actually talking about here. Now, the average singles tax across the entire United States is $6,976. That's nearly $7,000 more that you're going to pay for simply wanting to live in peace. Because isn't that what this really amounts to? This is a dirty little underhanded tax, but if we're to be honest, how much would it cost you per year to move your girlfriend into your place? I'm talking about the financial and emotional cost that you would pay. Trust me, it would be more than that $7,000. In fact, I know a whole bunch of folks who would pay the $7,000 just to get somebody out of their house.
From the Zillow press room, living alone has its perks. You never have to share a bathroom, you have claim to the TV at all times, and dirty dishes can stack up as long as you want, judgment-free. But all that freedom comes with a cost, says Amanda Pendleton, Zillow home trends expert. Even though rent prices are starting to cool, they are still significantly higher than they were a year ago. Renters considering going solo this year must decide how valuable living alone is to them and if it's worth the cost.
I gotta tell you, if I ever found myself single, living in a single wide trailer by myself for the rest of my life watching football would not be a life wasted. But you get my point, my friends. I rest my case. Hey, here's some good news. New home builders aren't as sad as they were over the past few months. The housing market index, which tracks the activity of new home builders, has gone from a low of 31 in December, and it's now gone up to 42, which beat estimates as it was only speculated to move up to a 37. Here's what the word on the street is telling us right now.
2 consecutive solid monthly gains for builder confidence, spurred in part by easing mortgage rates, signal that the housing market may be turning a corner even as builders continue to contend with high construction costs and building material supply chain logjams. Builder confidence in the market for newly built single-family homes in February rose 7 points to 42, according to the National Association of Home Builders and Wells Fargo Housing Market Index released today. This is the strongest reading since September of last year.
So here's pretty much how it goes. January's foreclosure activity is probably going to have a lot to do with how the rest of 2023 shapes up. If we have lower than expected foreclosure activity, expect new home builders to pick up framing hammers once again, and you'll probably see us making it through the year, dare I say, on a high note. Of course, the opposite is true for high foreclosure numbers. That could spell fewer housing starts and maybe not such a soft landing as everybody's talking about right now. However, the temporary good news that we have to hold on to right now, my friends, is this. As it stands right now, new home builders are cautiously optimistic.
Finally, what's a bigger issue for you right now? Is it all the UFOs we're shooting down and those identified flying objects too, like the ones from China? Or is it the recent rash of derailments and contaminants polluting our air, water, and land? By my estimates, this week, we've had derailments in New Palestine, Houston, Louisiana, South Carolina, and counting. Not to mention the shelter-in-place truck flip in Tucson or the giant 4-block fire in Illinois. So what's bigger? Or are both of these stories deliberately overly fabricated to ruffle our feathers and get ratings up? Let us know in the comments down below.